right? You just take it in the news why I had to jump over. Because the minister, who was my colleague, chose to ignore my presence. And that's what we tell you. Alright. I still fit enough, right? Right, so they ignored me, now you all saw me. Thank you very much. And now they have to help the former president of the Senate do the same thing because he got no invitation. Right? So let them continue with the interviews. And look how it makes them look. Take a picture, you jump over. I just remember that you saw me jump over a thing because they would not, that minister would not take 1 minute to give attention to the former president of the Senate. Anyway, just show you for that interview.
Have done so and have received the relevant feedback and facilitation wherever possible. To turn up this morning in that manner and try to grandstand outside of a state funeral in that manner and attract attention. I saw climbing over a railing and all sorts of behavior is unbecoming and unseemly and unfortunate and very disappointing in the circumstances. That's what I will say, but hopefully people will take note of how we conduct ourselves in a forum like this. Thank you.
Minutes ago, we saw something a bit quite bizarre. We saw a former finance minister and a former Senate president jumping the railings to get into SAPA and not coming through the area with the other dignitaries. And I want to invite them on very quickly, Mr. Hamel-Smith and Ms. Nunes-Teixeira, both of you all, to tell us exactly what happened there.
Well, okay, I'll quickly say that Mr. Hamel-Smith, former president, did not get an invitation. He tried in various ways to get an invitation. He did not get an invitation. So when we came, everyone was very kind to us, I have to say. That's the guards and the police. And at a point in time, they told us, well, you know, the procession is coming, and the only other way we could suggest is if you go over, are you willing to go over the rail? My former colleague, who is now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, in my view, ignored me. He could say I grandstand. I would tell you, he ignored me. He ignored me in a way that I would never have done that to him, because even if he could not have taken off time, he could have directed someone, please deal with Mrs. Teixeira. Faris Alwari, minister, saw me, asked him, could he do anything? He said he couldn't do anything. How could you treat a former colleague and a president of the Senate in that manner? So I said, they said to us, well, you know, you could jump over the fence. I said, well, we will do that, because if they are going to treat us like that, and that is a reflection of this government, because to me, I thought it was being vicious, I thought it was being vindictive, and I'm sorry that I had to do something like that, but I had no other choice but to do what we did, and it's a reflection on them.
Mr. Hamel-Smith, did you try to follow up maybe on where your invitation was?
Yes, certainly. Well, we got to first of all, to the President's office. They put us on to the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister's office put us on to the Foreign Affairs. Nobody answered their phone. We sent an email, which is what they told us to do. But it seems that nobody knew where my invitation was.
Well, on another note, you are here to pay respect to Mr. Pandey. But very quickly, what Mr. Pandey's impact on your life, sir?
Certainly, I think it's Mr. Pandey's impact on the whole nation that becomes important. I mean, it is the loss of a soul that has impacted Trinidad. His love alone and his life means so much to Trinidad and Tobago that is why we say that it is a loss, because the potential he had, I think that he fulfilled it to the limit.
And as the music tells us, coming here, he did it his way.
And he did it his way.
Yeah, right.
Add too that I have a great regard for Mr. Pandey and his daughter Michaela, with whom I have a kind of WhatsApp connection with, and a personal message that I wouldn't share, but it made me have a lot of regard for her. And even Mr. Mandey used to make a joke with me and say, come over on our side now. So we all share in the grief of the nation.
Understood.